So it finally happened. We are actually going to the source. I am here in Denver at this amazing, huge airport, and before we head to the mines, we are actually going to make a quick stop at Collector's Edge. We got in a little bit early, so I have an extra piece of adventure for you all today. We're going to meet our friend Bryan, and he's going to show us some fantastic rhodochrosite specimens. So I need to dump my bags, and we're ready to go. Bryan.
So nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
And I have heard a ton about you as well. Ready for the gem venture?
Gem venture, I sure am. And a little bit of mineral venture today. Collector's Edge will show you everything you want to know about minerals. We can do a tour of the place, ask questions. You'll see all kinds of interesting things.
Can we start?
We can start.
All right.
I'm going to show you one of the places where we store the mineral specimens. But what we do in this room is when we source minerals, our company sources minerals all over the world. We dig them, we buy them and sell them. We bring them here so people can see them, and we sell them.
Where's your favorite place to go find mineral specimens?
You know, Brazil for years was really my favorite place to go, and it slowed down a little bit through the years. It's picking back up again, and then we kind of changed our gears and started going to China.
Wow, that came from Colorado.
Yes. Now, Colorado's famous for a few minerals. You named one of them, rhodochrosite.
Okay.
But the other one's amazonite.
I had no clue.
Very famous for that. It's gold from Colorado.
How much of that do you pull out of the mine where you are?
We actually don't pull gold out at all. It was an old silver mine.
What else are your favorites besides rhodochrosite?
Well, you asked about some other things from Colorado.
Pyrite.
Pyrite, you got it?
Fool's gold.
Fool's gold. That's a vibrant color of blue. It's called cavensite, and it wasn't discovered until 1989, and it comes from India.
It boggles my mind that is natural.
It doesn't it? It's just like rhodochrosite. It's a color that grabs your eye. When you break one of these crystals, they form smaller versions of crystals that look just like them.
Yeah, they're crystal
perfect cleavage.
structure, yeah.
A lot of the most prized pieces are the combinations with the rhodochrosite with that nice purple fluoride.
Really?
It really sets them off. People go crazy for them.
I would have thought it'd be the pure crystals like this. But I guess the fluoride adds
Both.
dimension. Okay, so rhodochrosite, we've talked a lot on this YouTube channel about collecting gemstones and specimens. Do you see a lot of people that are interested in this for gemstones and jewelry, or is it mostly specimens?
In terms of total numbers, it might be half and half. A lot of cavities have many, many broken crystals in them.
Okay.
And every single broken crystal can be polished, faceted, calved, and turned into something for jewelry. So we could create thousands of pieces of jewelry out of one single pocket, where there might only be 500 specimens or 100 specimens. And some people collect both, the jewelry or cut stone. You've probably seen these cut stones before.
Can I take this out?
Sure, let me open it for you.
Oh my gosh. So I see slightly orange tones. The main color is red. Is there a preference? Pink, red, orange?
When they get really good and they're cut just right, they get this hot pink violet color to them. And it just explodes in your eye. If it's cut really well, like in a round brilliant, you can even get purple flashes and yellow flashes like a diamond. Here's an example of a very large one. This one's about 3 or 4 inches on an edge.
You'll have to tell me more about how you name the pockets. I think that's really fascinating too.
This is the Blue Moon pocket. You can imagine how it got its name. We found it on the Blue Moon. 1996.
Is that some luck, maybe?
It was,
found a piece this large. Okay, so tell me, I don't know the host rock as much. I know that it's rhodochrosite.
And that's quartz, the white stuff. The other minerals are a combination of sulfide minerals. The sulfide minerals are things that combine a metal like lead or zinc with sulfur.
Now I see some, it looks like, I don't think it's gold, I think it's pyrite. Could there be a little bit in there?
There is.
Okay.
That kind of gold color you see is, you're getting a flash of pyrite.
So when you pull these out and you have the host rock, do you have to test them, or can you just side ID? How do you go about doing that?
Well, when we first started finding them years back, when we did it the first time, we had to ID a lot of it.
Okay.
It was pretty simple. Some of them are complicated though. There's some real rare microscopic crystals that can only be described by XRD.
Pull it out and figure it out?
Oh, well, we sent it into testing laboratories, and I think we identified 30 minerals from here, something like that. There's a long list of minerals we found.
This piece right here, that might be one of my favorites in this whole case. It's extremely hard to pick. But what's great about this is, it's that really bright coloring. You can, see through the crystal. I think the second I walked into this room, that piece caught my eye.
Well, we've got some other things in this other room. Ready to go in here?
Yes, of course. Let's do this.
really cool story about this piece is that when it came in, there were probably 10 or 15 pieces, and it turned out they went together. This one, I think, was in 3 pieces. And we didn't know it when we bought the contents of the pocket. Rob was playing with it in the laboratory, and these all fit back together. So this has been restored. You have to make it look like it was never broken. So that's a restoration art that we started developing back in the 1980s. We've been doing it for 30 years. So that's our primary facility for that. And we call that mineral restoration, and it's become quite a popular thing around the world now. There's probably a half a dozen labs now in the world doing a similar kind of a thing.
It's repaired in a couple spots along in here, but the top was missing its piece. And I did the first restoration, carved it, and the adhesive, the epoxy that we used, was way too clear. So I'm now working on putting errors into the epoxy so that it looks a lot more natural. So not only is it getting the crystal formula right, the recipe for the color, we're also having to introduce flaws, so to speak.
So schorl, S-C-H-O-R-L, is the name for black tourmaline. So you have the schorl, and then you have it with the aquamarine. We've talked plenty about aquamarine, but I think this may be the first time that schorl has made its appearance on the channel.
So Robert's going to show you a simple technique of removing iron off the surface of Amazonite crystals. These Amazonite come from Colorado. And this is the first step in the cleaning process. So you can see the hours of work it takes just to clean one simple piece. Yeah. And this is the first step. The next step is it's got to go into some solutions to strip off the rest of the iron, and then it may come back through a process like this again. So it's iterative. It could be 2 or 3 times through this in and out of solution, in and out of aeration. And then there's trimming. Rob's going to show you the trimming device. This is an air-driven pneumatic tool that drops off very, very quickly. It knocks off debris. It's almost trimmed up, but finished trim. Then it comes back and it'll strip off that iron.
Thrilled to be here in Colorado, and Collector's Edge was amazing. Those stones were fantastic, and Bryan really knows what he's talking about. So we're gonna pause here. I'm gonna put my boots on, and we're gonna make our way to the mine.